Okay, morning everyone. I think I'll start now. It looks like most people have arrived. So I'd like to welcome you all to our webinar today. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Helen Dyer. I'm the Practice Manager at Thorntons. So I'd like to welcome you to our webinar, our Agrimaster Update webinar. This morning we have Katie and Rajni from Agrimaster who are going to talk to you about some of the recent updates and also some to go over some payroll aspects of Agrimaster. Just before we start, if you've got any questions, we've got a Q&A box down the bottom of your screen. So if you've got any questions, please enter them there. And what we'll do is Katie and Rajni will go through the webinar, and then at the end of the webinar, we'll have a Q&A session and they'll cover off on any questions that you may have. So please feel free to enter your questions in the Q&A box. Apart from that, I think that's all I've got to say. So I'd just like to introduce Katie and Rajni and hand it over to you girls. Thanks very much, ladies.
Cool. Thank you very much, Helen. I'll just make sure you can hear us.
Yes, we can hear you. Yep.
All good. Great. So good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for coming today, and a big thank you to Thorntons as well for having us here today. Yeah, we're really excited to be part of this webinar series, and yeah, looking forward to sharing some information with you today. So to kick us off, just some brief introductions. So yeah, I'm Katie. I'm the Business Development Manager at Agrimaster. So my role includes managing the sales team and the relationship management of our professional partner network. I'm about 7 months into the role, so still fairly new to Agrimaster, but not new to agriculture. I've previously had a collection of different roles in ag, including being an agri-finance manager at Elders. And here with me today is Rajni. Rajni's one of our in-house payroll and customer support experts, and she's got a wealth of knowledge around payroll, especially, and her background is in accounting. So yeah, just like Helen mentioned earlier, if you do have any questions, please pop them into the Q&A chat box. And we will come to those questions at the end of the presentation and demonstration in the Q&A section of the webinar. So let's dive straight in. Today we're going to be running through our roadmap going forward, including the upcoming features, the Agrimaster 6.5 update, and what it means for the future of Agrimaster. Then we'll be going through the key pay release, as well as providing an update on the customer support. So the Agrimaster roadmap, where we're going next. Our next feature release is of course going to be this key pay integration, which we'll be chatting about shortly, including a demonstration of this feature. And we also have 2 other features in the pipeline. So live bank feeds are going to be developed following the release of the key pay integration, and we anticipate this will be going out to all of our customers early next year. Likewise, our document attachment feature, this will be developed after bank feeds, and similarly will be delivered hopefully in early 2021 at this stage. So we're really looking forward to delivering those features to our customers. As well as these 3 features, we're also looking at the rebuild of Agrimaster. So we've been working away on some back-end changes to start this rebuild. Once we've got the key features developed, the key pay, live bank feeds, document attachments, the rebuild of Agrimaster will become our main priority for our development team. And we'll most likely start with the budgeting feature, bringing that up to speed with all of the latest technologies. Don't worry though, all of the functionality in those budgets is going to stay. But if there is functionality that you think is missing, or a report to do with budgeting that's not in the feature currently, please reach out and let us know and give us that feedback. So moving on to the 6.5 update, which went out in July this year. This was a really important update for us. Agrimaster has been around for quite a long time, as I'm sure most of you know. In fact, it turns 40 next year. So it's really coming time for us to update the back-end technology of Agrimaster, and the 6.5 update is the beginning of us rebuilding the software and the foundation that's going to allow us to integrate with all of the new and upcoming technology out there, including upcoming feature releases such as the KeyPay integration and live bank feeds. So the Agrimaster 6.5 update included business-based licensing, where going forward each business entity requires its own subscription. We also made quite a few file manager improvements. So you may have noticed if you've updated to 6.5 that file manager now opens in a web browser. We recommend using Microsoft Edge or Google Chrome. You can still work offline. So we have remained that hybrid product. So if you haven't quite got good internet connection or you want to disconnect for a while, you just need the internet connection for the initial opening of the file in File Manager in your web browser, and then you can work offline. When you reconnect to the internet, your file will be uploaded upon closure and upload into File Manager and save there. So we do have a few help articles around working offline and best practices, and they're all available on our Help Centre. File Manager is also a lot faster and smoother than before and using less data. So we had lots of feedback that it was a bit slow if you had like a lot of files in there, particularly for our professional partners. So we've made lots of improvements to File Manager to assist with any of those problems. The 6.5 update was also the last time you'll have to do a manual update. Agrimaster is now going to update in the background without you having to lift a finger. So you'll always be on the latest version, and yeah, you won't have to reactivate upon renewal anymore. That will all happen as well. We've also released read-only files. So these are for all of your historical data, and with every Agrimaster Standard and Agrimaster Plus subscription, you get access to unlimited read-only subscriptions. There will also no longer be a limit to having 2 computer activations per subscription. It's unlimited activations now. So if you've got a few different computers for your farm business and you've got an Agrimaster subscription, you can download and use Agrimaster on all of those computers, as many as you like, with your Agrimaster subscription. We, of course, had a few bug fixes in the release as well, and that included the file and use error and just removed a few operational bugs that were in the software. And the last key thing that we released as part of Agrimaster 6.5 was the delete file function. So you can now delete files out of your file manager that you no longer require, sample code lists, demo files, or copies of files. It is a pretty permanent thing once you've deleted it, so make sure you're really wanting to delete that file. But yeah, you can tidy up those file lists that you have in your file manager. So that is the 6.5 release, and we'll move on to KeyPay. So this is the first feature release that we're delivering to our customers since the Agrimaster 6.5 update in July. And Agrimaster 6.5 is the foundation for the future of the Agrimaster software. So we've really, this release is really exciting and an exciting step towards the future of Agrimaster. The reason we've started with the KeyPay integration is our customers and professional partners have said it was one of the most requested features for payroll, and they wanted payroll options without compromising any data. So KeyPay is a fully online payroll and STP solution. It's a really intuitive payroll system and great for those that have a couple of seasonal workers or maybe 1 or 2 employees throughout the whole year. As a customer, you do need to subscribe to KeyPay separately. This isn't part of an Agrimaster subscription, but the integration of the KeyPay data will be included for all Agrimaster Standard subscribers. And the way that it will work is the integration will pull the payroll data from KeyPay through to the Agrimaster Cashbook. And this will allow for actuals to easily be pulled together and also to be used for budgeting going forward. So today we will be showing you an exclusive first look and demonstration of the KeyPay integration. We are still finalising development of this feature though, so there may be some slight changes to what you see today and what is launched to all of our customers in a short while. So as part of the KeyPay release, our Agrimaster customer support team will be providing support for the integration of the data from KeyPay into the Agrimaster Cashbook. If you've got any queries around processing payroll or STP compliance in the KeyPay software, this support is provided by KeyPay as that's part of the KeyPay subscription. So our customer support team will also continue to provide support for all of our WageMaster customers and all of their payroll queries as well. So let's have a look at the integration. And that's it. Pretty quick and easy, as you can see by the video. So we'll have a look in a bit more detail now at this integration. The first step is to go to your file from the File Manager home screen. When you click your file to open that from File Manager, you'll notice there's a left-hand sidebar there and there's a payroll option. So once you click on the payroll option, you'll see there is an option to import from KeyPay. If you've selected the wrong Agrimaster file that you wanted to integrate the data to, you'll see there now with the Agrimaster logo in the top left-hand corner there, you can click on that and that will take you back to your File Manager homepage and your file list. So the first step for the integration is the integration setup. So the integration setup ensures the payroll data is pulled through for the correct business entity and follows 3 key steps. The first of which is selecting your source, which would be the KeyPay software. Next, you will input your payroll API credentials from KeyPay. So your payroll API credentials can be found by going to the My Account section of KeyPay, and that takes you to the Account Details tab. And your API key will be on this page underneath where your name and email address sit. We'll be providing instructions and screenshots of this closer to the release date and in help articles to assist with these steps. The next part is just ensuring that the correct business is selected and then linking that up. If the integration is successful, you'll then get the message below, which is that your business is now integrated and you can complete that step. So the next part is the payroll setup. So once you've completed the integration, you can move on to selecting payroll setup. And step one of payroll setup is aligning the coding. So these are purely example codes only. And again, there are like a few slight changes that might look a bit different when we release the product. So as it's all still in development. So once you've selected your coding, you move across and you're going with bank accounts and employees. So the next step is to select the bank account that you're paying the wages from. Following on with confirming the employees and the data you'd like to pull across to the Agrimaster cash book. After this, we look at allowances, and you're confirming the coding for any allowances that you might have in the business when you're doing payroll. These are purely example purposes only, but you can, as you can see, you can kind of go through and select your code allocation enterprise project if you use those kind of codes in your Agrimaster. So once you've done the allowances, you've actually completed the payroll setup. You can click on complete, and the next step is actually the import itself. You go back to the home screen and select import, and you'll be taken to the following screen. For this example, we're using a weekly pay run where the last week ended was the 3rd of November, and your next pay run week ends on the 10th of November. So in this case, your last pay slip was imported on the 3rd, and the one to be imported is the 10th of November. So yeah, you can see here the last imported period, 3rd of November, latest date to import is the 10th, and the payment date is the date you've paid the wages out of your bank account. You can, or you will also be able to backdate and import previously completed pay runs from earlier in the year just by amending those dates. So moving on to, you can then preview the transactions. You will have seen in the video that there was a list with all of your employees' names. You can actually select on each line item and it will show you the split out of those transactions. And you can just make sure that they're the transactions you wanted to pull across to the Agrimaster cash book for that payroll period. If you need to alter the dates, you can select cancel on this screen and redo that step. Otherwise, if all the transactions are there that are required, you can select import. And that's it, it's done. So once the import is complete, you'll find your payroll data from the KeyPay software in your Agrimaster cash book. And from here, from this screen, you can basically just click complete and you'll be taken back to the overview page of your file in File Manager. And that's it. So quite quick, simple and easy. Yeah, hopefully we'll be working on finalising development. There may be a couple of slight changes, but this provides you with a good overview of how it will all work and what it might look like. So our release timeline, as I've mentioned, we're currently still in development for this feature. And just due to the age of the software that we're working with and code, we have had a few unexpected pieces of work that have set us back a little bit with the development of this KeyPay integration. The development of the integration part of this feature is complete, and we're currently working on the development of the import portion of the KeyPay release feature. So we do have a couple of customers that use KeyPay, and they are part of our phase 1 release, which is customer testing. So we are hoping to complete customer testing this year and release early in 2021. We are actually looking for a few additional customers to be part of this testing. And in the follow-up email for this webinar, there will be some contact details. If you'd like to be involved and be one of the first customers to use this KeyPay integration and to be involved in the customer testing, you'll be able to get in touch with us and yeah, indicate if you'd like to be part of that testing. Similarly, we are also doing a small phase release to early adopters. Again, if you didn't want to be part of the testing, but you wouldn't mind being one of the first customers to try it, you can also respond to or get in touch with us after you've received the email from this webinar, and nominate and say that you'd like to be part of that release to early adopters. Phase 3 is that we will release the KeyPay integration to all of our Agrimaster standard subscribers. We will be having further webinars for customers and all of our professional partners on this integration in the new year as well, which will show a live demonstration of the completed feature once it's been fully developed, and further information about the release and answering any questions. So the last topic for the day is just to provide you all with an update on customer support. We get lots of questions about customer support. So our customer support team are available 8 AM to 5 PM, Monday to Friday. And we actually have a customer support agreement, which is on our website. And customer support requests must be responded to within 24 to 48 hours. So we are really working on being very quick to come back to you with any help that you need. There's also a full web page on our website with all of the different ways you can contact customer support, which include direct calls, booking a designated support call, submitting tickets, and there's a wide variety of help articles as well. So we have been working on our customer support in the last 6 to 12 months especially, and we've been making a number of improvements to make sure that we're providing the best support possible to our customers. We have updated our phone system and we now have direct calls coming into our support team and they're being answered directly, which is really exciting. Our support times have also improved. There was a bit of a lag time due to updates and also around payroll and STP when that came in. However, these support times have now halved. In most cases, support tickets are responded to within an hour of being submitted. So if you are looking for customer support, lodging a ticket is a great way to get an answer quickly. We've also increased our staff numbers. They're actively being trained on the job, and increased staff numbers means that we can get to your queries more urgently. Our help centre has also increased in its knowledge. We've got hundreds of new help centre articles that have been added to this page. It's also been rejigged a little bit so it's easier to find those help articles. And you can actually search in Google if you use Chrome. If you search Agrimaster Stock Control, our help centre articles will pop up. So there's many different ways you can find our help articles. Obviously, we have our newsletter, which keeps our customers and professional partners quite informed. And another great option for support is actually our Facebook community group. If you aren't already a part of this group, I'd highly recommend it. Everyone's Agrimaster is set up differently, but it's really great to be able to get support from your peers who might be able to answer that query that you've got straight away because they have set their Agrimaster up the same way. So we also pop in little help centre article links and notifications in that community group as well. So if you're not already part of it, I'd highly recommend being part of that Facebook community group. So I think we do have some questions. Yes. So we'll move on to the Q&A section of the webinar. Oop. So first question we've got here is wanting to know if there will be support for KeyPay. So I'll just pass this one over to Rajni and she'll answer that for you.
Hello, everyone. Just on that one, we will definitely be supporting the integration with KeyPay. And with KeyPay, as that is a subscription that you pay with the software KeyPay. So everything related to processing payroll and related to the STP compliance or any processes related to that will be covered under the KeyPay subscription, and you can access the help center articles or contact them directly for that, but we will be definitely assisting you with the integration side of it.
Rajni and Katie, can I just add in there as well? We do have a couple of people in our office as well who are very good with KeyPay itself. So if you do have any small questions that you would like answered, then you're unable to get help easily from the KeyPay support, then we've got people here that also can help you through it. So that's another option for you. Obviously, the integration assistance would be dealt with by Agrimaster Direct, that would be the better option. But if it's actually to do with KeyPay, we're also here happy to help with that.
Awesome. Thanks, Helen.
We've got a few more questions. So there was one of those that says, does this replace the existing WageMaster? It is just an additional payroll option that we are giving to our customers. We will still have WageMaster within our one of our direct dealership that we do with them. We will be providing it in-house so that we do the setup for our customers who are on payroll assist, and also provide an ongoing support to all the WageMaster customers. It is just an additional software that we are providing as a payroll option, but we are not replacing WageMaster. It is just an additional software that we are providing to the customers. Okay, and another question that we have here is, do I have to complete the integration and payroll setup steps every time I want to import data? No, these steps are only required the first time you use the payroll section or when you onboard new staff. So these are not the steps that you'll have to repeat every time you do the integration side. Another question we have here is, can I make changes to my payroll setup once it has been completed? Yes, you can simply rerun the setup steps, and the button will always be available. If you want to change the code sometime in future to something else, it will be always there.
Cool. What's your next? Have we got another question coming through?
Yep, there's one. How do I select more than one employee in the payroll setup? All employees will be available on KeyPay, will be available in the list for you to set up. So it won't be one employee at a time. All the employees can be coded at the same time for all the settings available, just like you do with WageMaster at this stage. Okay, there are a few more questions coming in.
Cool. Yeah, so we have got another question here. Does KeyPay have a timesheet, or do you need to use Deputy, for example?
It does have a timesheet in the software itself, but there are definitely few softwares that it does integrate with, and there is definitely an option to import the timesheets as well, but we'll have to look into that for you, and we will provide all these instructions on our help center as soon as we are heading towards the release of the integration. So we will definitely put out all the options available for that too.
Awesome. Great. Thanks, Rajni. Great question.
And then we have got one more here. When I'm importing KeyPay data into Agrimaster, can my PP with shared access work in the Agrimaster file at the same time? So just on this one, while you're importing data into Agrimaster, so your status will show as file in use and can be accessed as read only as the import is still in process. So they will be able to access it once your import has been completed. And other than that, while you're in the process, it will just show as file in use.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, if your accountant is wanting to look at some of the data but not editing anything, by all means, they can go into that file and view it as read only. However, if you're looking for your professional partner, be it your accountant or your consultant or bookkeeper, and they need to edit some details in the file or go into your budgets and make a few changes, they'll only be able to use read only. So they'll need to wait until you've finished the import of the data from KeyPay into your Agrimaster before they can go and wait for that to upload. Once it's coming up as uploaded and backed up, and there's no file in use warning there, they'll be able to go back into that file and start editing again.
We have got one more question here.
Mm-hmm.
Do I have to select an enterprise when importing from KeyPay? No, this is not mandatory, but we highly recommend it for management purpose so that you can pull out stat reports on the basis of those, but it is not a mandatory option that you have to select. That's it that we have here.
That's all the questions that we've got so far.
Does anyone have any questions, non-KeyPay questions that they wanted to put forward at this point? Any questions on the subscription model or the file manager updates? Oh, it doesn't look like we've got any, ladies. So obviously, if you've got any questions post this, please email them to me. And then what we can do is we can add them on onto the information that we send out. So basically, once the webinar is finished, we'll be compiling a document that we send out with a summary of all the information. I'll also be making the webinar available to watch again for anyone that wants to watch it again, or for anyone that's missed it. So as part of that, we can also add on some information subsequent if anyone's got any questions subsequent. So yeah, so if there's no other questions, ladies, have you got anything else that you wanted to add at this point?
No, I don't. I think we've really covered everything at this point. Thank you very much, though. Oh, sorry, already finished the presentation. Thank you very much, though, for the invitation again, Helen and Thorntons, for inviting us to speak this morning, and thank you very much to everyone attending.
That's fine, yeah.
Yeah, we're obviously contactable, and we'll provide those contact details in the follow-up email as well.
Yeah, great. Thanks very much to Katie and Rajni. Thanks very much to everyone for attending. As I said, I'll send an email, a post-webinar email to everyone who attended with a link, and also with the additional information. Okay, well, we might just leave it at there. So that's short and sweet. Thanks very much. I'll end the webinar now, and please be in touch if you have any other questions.
Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Everyone. Thanks.
Bye.